Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly, a podcast for and by business owners who are excited to share their go-to step-by-step actions and processes that will get us from point A to point B more easily, more cost effectively, and provide us with the time and freedom that we started our businesses for. Are you ready? I am. Today we're going to talk with Anne Milne, and she's a lifeline thrown out to support you in the midst of the storm. She's pulling you back to shore, away from the guilt, overwhelm, and towards peace and calm. Flourishing Moms was created for moms to learn, grow, and not survive, but to flourish. Anna believes in sharing your voice. She understands what living in chaos and being lost is like. She has conquered addiction, abuse, and shame in her life. Most recently, she has walked through a suicide attempt with her younger daughter. Anna is a trained child, youth, and family counselor, as well as a life coach who has years of experience working with families all around the world. Anna brings her knowledge, wisdom, and life experience to each session. She is that much needed spark of light in the midst of that, at times, overwhelming chaos. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you, Nancy. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm really excited to talk to you. We started out our conversation a little bit before we were online here with my chaos. And it can really be overwhelming, chaos and how we live our lives. And I think it's really interesting because as I mentioned as we were talking, I sit on my couch all day long with my computer on my lap. How much trouble can I get into? Where can I create the chaos in my life? But it happens. And, both from a personal and a business standpoint, I think that's probably one of the most important things that we need to deal with in our lives.
Agreed. Yes. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Why don't we?
Okay. Yeah, I think especially as business owners, working from home or started that, gradual, more so working at home, there's so much that can distract us. There's so much that I like the term squirrel. There's so much that we can think, oh, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this. And if we don't have systems in place or a plan, we're busy. Our mind thinks we're busy, but at the end of the day, we have done nothing. Yeah. So it's this, this process. Our mind thinks, oh, we've had a good productive day where we've been busy, our mind's full. And at the end of the day, you're like, oh, but I don't have any more clients, or I haven't moved forward, or anything.
Yeah. And how does that create? I'm a psychologist and a sociologist by education.
Yeah.
And there's a term that we use called dissonance. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with that? It's where you think one thing and there's another thing going on and your brain just can't, it fights itself.
Yes.
So, so you're saying at the end of the day, we think we've been very productive, but we don't have anything. That's dissonance. How do we then, walk away from that without becoming disillusioned, depressed? What do we do? Are there ways to create less of that busyness and more productivity?
Yeah, I think for me, I needed to create systems in my life, and it kind of I think being an entrepreneur and working from home, you kind of fight that. You think the myth is, oh, I can do whatever I want, and I can sleep in, and I can sit at the beach drinking margaritas all day, and because that's the picture that's shown out in the social media, right? You see these people on the beach, but we really need to get a hold of our time and make time blocks. That's one of the systems that have been huge for me. Is like, okay, I'm gonna, for example, 8 to 8:30 is when I'm gonna send my emails, when I'm gonna check my emails. That's it. And really set up times through your day of when you're gonna do what. Because it's very easy to sit on all day, there's cute cat videos and whatnot on Facebook. We can spend our whole day on Facebook. But we need to really capture our time and set boundaries is the huge thing, is set boundaries over when we're going to do what.
And how do we figure out, I know I tell my clients and they look at me with these big scowls when I tell them they need to do this, but I say, you need to, for a week, keep track of everything you do. Mm-hmm. How long does it take you? What does it provide to you? What feelings do you get from doing these things? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And do you have any sort, I know there's a lot of time management software out there. Rescue Me is one of them. Do you have anything in particular that you recommend?
I old school. I remember you and I talked about this before. I use day timers. For me, there is a connection between mind, pen, writing it down. But I'm very big at day timers, that has, what does my day timer here? 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Not that I'm working all day that time, but it has each hour there. So I can put, okay, I get up at whatever time, 8 to 8:30. I'm going on Facebook. That's it. That's all I'm going to be doing. So I can really block out my time during the day.
Yeah, and I think I've also heard, we all talk about, oh, I'm a multitasker and all that. That's not a good thing, is it?
No. And that's one of the things I work with moms with, is that really letting go of that supermom complex, multitasking. It adds to the chaos, because if you think of it, okay, if you're cooking dinner for your family, you're also washing dishes, you're talking to your children, you're checking Facebook, it creates that chaos. Like your brain, actually after a while, it's proven that your brain thrives on that. It needs that. So taking it down, doing one thing at a time, and then like you said, when you do your clients, figure out what you need to do each day, depending on whatever your business is. If it's emails, if it's social media, and really breaking that down to when you're going to do it.
Yeah. And I know for myself, this all sounds wonderful, and it's things that I talk about doing myself.
Yeah.
And I'm real good at sitting here for a day or two and writing everything down and then going, oh, screw it. I'm not going to do this anymore. It's just, how do you actually train yourself to do this stuff and to say, it drives me nuts if I know that an email comes in and I want to go look at that email, who's sending me something? Nope, it's not the right time. I can't do it.
I think I've done that too. And I think setting up, a time. Okay, I'm going to check that email. I'll give myself 2 minutes. That's it. Because it's true. I look at that notification come up. I know even people that shut off notifications off their phone. But if it comes up, say, okay, I'm going to check it for 2 minutes. That's it. Yeah. And set that up before you even, open that email.
And this is driving me crazy now, and I don't know how to fix it. Years and years ago, somehow or other, I created a process which, when I get emails coming in or somebody sends me something on Facebook, or somebody puts something up on one of my groups, I get little notifications down at the bottom of my screen that say,
same.
you know, you just got an email from Anna. And I'm going, yeah. I want to turn them off now, because they drive you crazy, because I cannot see those things.
Yeah.
And not go look at them. And then I come back to what I was doing, and all right, what was I doing? I'm done. I've forgotten it. But I can't figure out how to turn those dumb things off. And it doesn't matter what computer, it's not connected to the computer. It's somehow or other connected to the software. So I get a new computer, and lo and behold, the stuff still comes through, and I'm going. So I think for our listeners, we need to make them realize in some way or another that this is not a good thing. We may think that it's important to be right on there and answer that client's call.
Yeah.
But it's not.
No. And especially, I mean, like yourself, you're teaching with business. Myself, I help moms with chaos. If we're not modeling that ourselves, how are we going to expect our clients to do that? It's something that really comes back for me. Is this what I'm teaching my clients? No. Okay.
Yeah. So how do we stop that? How do our clients that, say, all right, this sounds wonderful to me. I cannot continue to do this. Baby steps. What do I do to get started, headed in the right direction? Do you have a formula? Do you have a process?
I think first thing is get rid of the notifications as much as possible. And it's set up on our computers, and it's like they know it. And get rid of notifications on your phone, get rid of it on your computer. And a little confession, I don't know how to do it either, but I know people that do know. So I've had my brother, who's computer whiz, do it for me. So I think that is the key, is getting all those distractions. Know what your distractions are. If it's Facebook, log off as much as possible. You can log off. Believe it or not, there is a setting on your phone that you can log off.
I turned Facebook off before our call. So
same. So you can do that, and we really have to be proactive. And if you know that that's a weakness, you know that you're going to go through that spiral of Facebook, log off.
Yeah.
And log off on your phone.
Yeah.
And try to eliminate those. I think that is the first step, is eliminate those distractions until it becomes a habit.
And I think that was actually going to be my next question. I know that it takes like 30 days of doing something on a regular basis to create a habit.
Yes.
So what happens if you don't do it for a couple of days? Does that mean you've lost everything and you have to start all over again?
No, I think key also is be patient with yourself. Like, don't beat yourself up, because we sometimes do that even with working out. I did miss the gym today. Ugh, forget it. You just give up. But recognize that it is a process. Is baby steps. And if you spend one day all on Facebook and everything goes out the window, it's okay to start again. We don't have time. You don't have to beat yourself up and say, oh my gosh, Anna, you're such an idiot. Why'd you get sucked into that? But, recognizing it, and tomorrow's a new day and you can start over. Yeah. It won't take care of it. Keep moving forward.
Yeah. It's the old statement of one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. You just got to keep headed in the right direction, and
Agreed.
eventually, I think eventually you wind up with a much better process, for lack of
Yes.
a better word, for doing things. Now, there's a group that I'm in that I was listening to the other day, and she talks about moving your business forward and all of these different techniques and tools and stuff. But she says you have to eliminate the word overwhelm from your vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about that. What do you think about that phrase?
I think it has a place. I mean, it's a, like all feelings, because overwhelm is a feeling. It, once we get to the place that we can connect with ourselves and you're feeling overwhelmed, it's like, okay, for me, when I start feeling overwhelmed, it's like, okay, I need to step back. There's something I need to do differently. Maybe it's go out for a walk for 5 minutes, go out and do this. I think it has a place in our day-to-day.
Yeah, I do too. Her
Yeah.
her comment was, well, when you say overwhelm, that gives you permission to stop and just not do anything. And that just doesn't feel comfortable to me. I think if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's a sign that, like you just said, it's time to stop. It's
Yeah.
time to maybe look at things a little bit differently and rearrange what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. And think, okay, maybe I'm needing a break. Yeah. If it's during that process, because we're fighting a lot when we're getting rid of the notifications, we're doing this. Depending on what age and how long in the workforce, we're in that mindset that we have to work 8 hours a day or more in order to make an income. So being your own business owner, you're fighting against that. You're giving yourself permission that you can do lots in, say, 4 hours a day or even less.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you're breaking a lot of habits. So you're going to feel naturally overwhelmed because your body and brain is going, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, and I'm learning so much and I'm doing so much and I'm going to explode, and and that's just calm down, take a deep breath. Do you recommend, when you're trying to deal with this feeling of chaos and everything, do you recommend meditation? Do you recommend anything to go for a walk? What do you do when you're feeling
Yeah,
really?
go for a walk. Amazing thing, even sitting, grabbing whatever your beverage of choice is, if it's during the non-alcoholic, during the day, tea or coffee or whatever that is, and sit outside. Because typically we're inside so much. Go sit outside in the sun or wherever your place is, and just decompose, have that coffee. Usually it takes 5-10 minutes, and then go back inside or walk. If you have animals, sit and pet your animals.
Yeah, that's a good one. I know just when I have 2 cats, and inevitably they want to be with mom when mom doesn't want them around.
Always, yes.
But just sitting there petting them for a couple of minutes, just they start to purr and I start to purr, it's that kind of just really calming me down.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's, I lost my ear.
Yeah, and really, again, because we're breaking habits, giving yourself permission, it's okay. I mean, we need to do this during the day. It's okay to take breaks. Whatever is going on in your computer world or whatever, it's going to be there when you get back.
Yeah, I think that's hard for us to understand,
It
though.
is. Yeah. Because we're determined and we have this huge dream in us and we want to do the best. We feel we have to be on 24/7, but we can do so much better after we take breaks.
Yeah, breaks are important, and recently I've been talking to business people who are, I would consider them successful. They've got it going in the right direction, and oftentimes they'll be saying, I've just really been working hard. I'm going to take some time off and go take a nap. And I go, geez, if I did that, I'd feel so guilty. So is it okay to take a nap?
Take a nap. Naps are good. Like, as you were talking, I was even thinking, as kids, we had recess at school.
Mm-hmm.
A long time ago, I don't know what year, that book, The Best Things, and don't quote me, it's not the exact title, but The Best Things I Learned from Kindergarten.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And it talked about recess. It talked about taking breaks. It talked about naps. Those things that we learned at kids really was important.
How is it that we get so out of tune with those things that were important? I think it's important to have fun, and as an adult and as a business owner, we're not allowed to have fun, and we start our own businesses often because we want to have fun, because we want to be able to do things that we never could do working for someone else.
Yes.
And then we turn what we're doing into a job, just like we had before we quit.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I've often talked about, done blogs and videos and stuff on even trying new things. Like, remember as kids, we try soccer, we try art, and if we didn't like it, we moved on. And we were constantly trying new things, and we've lost that along the way, that we feel we're not good enough or flighty if we try something and it's not for us and we move on. We really need to get back to that. Yeah,
I really think just that. I remember as a kid playing out in my front yard with the rest of the other kids in the neighborhood, and I mean, silly games like Statue. Did you ever play Statue as a kid? How still can you stand, and then we'd go into hide and seek, and all these different, and we'd be rolling on the ground laughing. We were just having pure fun.
Yes.
When was the last time as an adult running a business have we just had pure joy?
I agree.
I don't see it. And I think that, if I've got to do, and I said at one time, I would never have a home-based business. And that was because I knew I'd watch TV, I'd do the laundry, I'd do the dishes, I'd, throw all these other things. Whereas if I was in an office situation, that's what I did.
Right.
And that's all mindset. I mean, I'm sitting here right now because I'm now home based. I don't have an office, but I'm sitting here thinking, geez, I wish I could get out and go do the dishes that are in the sink. And, I think one of the main things, see, there's one of those dumb announcements that just turn it off. I get easily sidetracked. I have chaos. Oh, geez. But, if there were some way that we can train ourselves, and you're right in saying from such and such a time is when I'm going to do this. From such and such a time is when I'm going to do that. I don't think about the dishes. The dishes will get done. There'll be a time for that. And even more important, if they don't get done, oh well, you'll do them tomorrow.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
But I don't know how to do that. I don't know how, as a human, we turn those things off.
I just really analyzing it, and giving ourselves permission and asking, okay, I look over, you can't see it, we're on video, but over here, there's dishes there. And just really saying, okay, so what I had to do is say, okay, Anna, what happens if I don't do the dishes? And really breaking down. And for me, it came back down to my childhood, like dirty dishes equals messy house equals poor mother equals this. And tearing that apart, having dirty dishes on my counter, does that make me a bad mom? No. Does that make me lazy? No. And that's what came into my head. That was for me why I gave me anxiety. And ripping that apart and going, no, it's okay to have dirty dishes. It means we had food.
There you go. Just turning the thought process from negative into positive.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's great.
And I think we can do the same with play. We need to, as we schedule, all that we do in a day, go have play. Jump in a puddle.
Oh, that was fun. That sounds like so much fun.
Get some bubbles. Oh my goodness.
That's funny. I found, and I'm going to do it one of these days.
Good.
If we finally get some good weather. My mom loved bubbles, soap bubbles. And as she was getting older, my husband and I would make, both her and my dad, Easter baskets coming up on Easter.
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of cleaning out the house from 65 years of all of their stuff now that they're both gone. And I found a brand new bottle of bubbles the other day. And I'm saying, I gotta go blow bubble.
Yes, you do.
And I bought my husband a drone for Christmas, and the weather's been so bad that he hasn't had a chance to get out and use his drone. And I'm going, just counting the days until it gets nice that we can go out and play with the drone,
Yeah,
and not think 24/7. I live 24/7 for my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of other people do too.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's just not right. That's, we need to take the time out for play.
Exactly. Like you said, that's not why we got into business in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And do more play.
Yeah. So do you have, and I know we've been, one of my favorite couple of words we've been talking about repeatedly here are tools and processes. And
yes.
when you go in to talk to your moms,
mm-hmm.
do you have some sorts of processes or tools specifically that you recommend to your moms for them to use that maybe our listeners could use as well?
I definitely day timer, as we spoke before, definitely day timers. Journals are huge. And this is one of the processes. Often moms, I would say probably more often moms, a big thing is not having time for themselves. So when we start working together, the first thing I do is recommend, if the kids get up at 7, and you typically get up at 7, get up at 6:30. Make sure if you have a coffee, pre-grown brand coffee, have your coffee and journal. And that's your time. That's your time. And journaling it seems something simple, writing in a dear diary, but it's huge to really get yourself ready for the day and really start writing your goals, writing your feelings, writing anything is ideal. It's an amazing way to start the day.
Yeah, that's actually what my next question was going to be is, okay, I've got a journal. I go out the 1st of January and I buy this beautiful book, there's one that I bought this year that's still sitting on my little desk next to me that I've not even opened. I bought it January 1st, and I sit there and I go, all right, here it is. what do I do with it now? What do I write about? What are the things that you suggest they talk about in these journals?
First thing is, if you're just newbie starting out, if anything, write 3 things that you're grateful for. Start there. Start writing, 3 things that you're grateful for, and then you can kind of take it to what happened to you yesterday. And what they find over time, you have your 3 things that you're grateful for. What happened yesterday is you really begin to process what happened and recognize, maybe your moods. You can look over after time. But even starting 3 things that you're grateful for is an amazing way to start the day. So then by the time your husband, partner, children, whoever get up, you're in a positive mind frame. It's not so rushy. Oh my gosh, we got to get ready for school. Come on. Which starts to chaos.
That sets the whole wrong focus for the day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I see that with my husband, as my poor husband, and his job has him going to work different days of the week. He never has the same schedule 2 weeks in a row. Some days he works from 9 to 5:30. Other days he works from 2 in the afternoon until 10:30. It's never the same. Yeah. And not only does he have that, but he has to make sure that I've got everything I need for the day. I've got like 4 glasses of different, I've got hot tea, I've got iced tea, I've got, everything. I've got my meds I have to take. He has to make sure that everything is there ready for me.
Yeah.
So that I don't, and half of the time he winds up coming home 15 minutes after he's left because he's forgotten his phone. He's, he half dressed, all of these different things. And then when he comes home at night, I'll say, well, how was your day today? Because he's had a really bad day because it started out so crazily, not bad, but just crazy. And I say, well, maybe we need to get up a half hour earlier. What else? Is there anything that you can do the night before so that you don't have to, put out your clothes the night before?
Invest, if you're a coffee drinker, invest in a pre-programmed coffee machine.
We have a Keurig.
You're a Keurig, yeah. So you're not taking that time. Have lunches all ready for the family. I'm a huge meal planner too. Know what you're having for dinner that night. Okay, do I need to take out the turkey? Do I need chicken? Whatever, is there stuff that I need to do? As much as you can the night before.
That's a really good idea. And I think it's, and I've often suggested, it's hard for him, I know, and it's hard for me too, because I can't get up and help him do the things that I would like to be able to do for him.
Yeah.
And so I think he kind of thinks, look, you're not doing it. Just shut up and let me do what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I'm really trying to make it easier for him. And, I go, well, why don't we sit down and plan a week's menus ahead of time?
Yeah.
We've got these medicine containers that have like 2 weeks worth of the little holes for you to put each day's medicines in. Bring me the bottles and I'll put the medicine into the containers so that all I have to do is go and open today's container and there's my medicine. I can't get him to do it. I think in general though, for a lot of people, getting them to do the things that they know would help them, that's the stopping point right there.
Yeah.
You can't get them to break the habits.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
It comes down to exploring why. What's blocking you? A lot of people, and I'm sure you found too, we're scared of success. We're scared of going full out because what will happen? And giving yourself permission, it's okay. This will benefit me in the long run. And maybe instead of, we named 4 or 5 different things that we can do, pick one. Pick one thing that you're going to do tomorrow to make it easier. Buy a Keurig or meal plan. And then each week add something else. This week you're going to have coffees ready. Okay, next week maybe coffees and lunches. Third week, coffee, lunches, and meal plans. And take it slow.
I think that's a good idea. It's just pushing everything all into one there's the word again, is overwhelm.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do everything all at once and none of it feels comfortable because you've never done it before, it's not gonna happen.
Agreed.
I really think that, like I said earlier, baby steps, you need to.
Well, think of even the analogy of the gyms. Everybody, January 1st, the gyms are packed. All of January, everybody wants to eat right, work out, do this, do that, and that. And come, February 3rd, nobody's at the gym because it's too much all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, endpoint. What is your number one recommendation for people who really want to end the chaos, who really want to have more productive lives and businesses? What do they do?
Set your day out. And, really, because oftentimes we don't know what we need to do. Like, really take a look of all the things that you have to do, emails, depending on whatever your business is, we all do emails. So that's always a given. Like, really break down and make a list of all those business ideas and things that you need to do in a day. And break that down and then, give yourself whatever time it is. Because the more we know what we do in the day, the better we are. Because oftentimes you ask people, okay, what do you do in a day? Well, I don't know. So I think that would be the first step. You got to know what you do in a day in order to plan it. So take a look at, whether it's email, social media, if you're doing your own podcast, just really list that down and then kind of break that up into the day of how much time you will spend. And I think it will really amaze people how much time they do. I don't want to say waste, I guess, for lack of better words, or our unproductive time.
Yeah. I think that's an absolutely essential suggestion. It's wonderful. Everybody that's listening, really pay close attention here, because I can guarantee that I'm right there with you. I understand the challenges, and I can guarantee that the things that Anna's suggesting we do can really help us to have a more productive and comfortable life. I think would be a good word, because we are getting rid of the chaos. We are being happier and more joyful, and all of those wonderful terms that we're using. So, Anna, anything else that you want to share before we end this broadcast?
Play. As we're saying, I invite you guys to play more. Just let go and try something new. Go out, jump in the puddles, like Nancy and I talked about. Blow bubbles. I invite you to invite more play into your life. It's a huge de-stressor too.
Good. I wish I could. Can I please go out and jump in the puddle?
Okay, blow bubbles.
I'll blow bubbles. That one I can do.
Okay.
All right. Well, how can anybody, if they would like to work with you, if they think, oh my gosh, Anna's the one who's going to help me get out of this mess I'm in and get my life to be more productive and manageable, how do they get a hold of you?
I am on, my website is annamilne.com. And also I am on Facebook, use social media a lot. So come find me on Facebook under my name as well. Or podcast is Flourishing Moms.
Okay, great. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. This has really been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed talking with you, and I can't wait to get outside and blow some of those bubbles.
Me too.
Sounds wonderful. And, hopefully we will talk again real soon. And I want to thank you very, very much for being with us today and sharing all these wonderful, wonderful ideas.
Awesome, Nancy. Thank you.
All righty. Everybody take care. Listen live on Thursday evenings to Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly. You can find them both on Facebook under the Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly page and on my website at don'twaittillpigsfly.com. We'll be talking again next week. And until then, everybody take care. Have a wonderful week and get rid of that chaos. Soar higher, you all. Bye-bye.